spree right behind you.
Strange. Vice Mayor Strange, you'll address her properly.
You can kiss my foot.
Mr. Rickard, you're out of order.
FBI, we are asking you to investigate this council. Please look into this council, how they award contracts, the bid process, how they use their positions to benefit their friends and themselves, how they use their positions to attack residents and critics and neighbors and business competition. FBI, will you please look into this?
And I welcome the FBI here. If you notice, Mr. Thompson, with his plea for the FBI and his watchdog group, this city runs the cleanest in this whole county. I guarantee
He was served a federal subpoena this morning.
Did receive a subpoena this morning, and we're going to cooperate 100% with the subpoena. And
Most of you who were involved up here, you gaslighted me. You tried to say I was crazy. And now we know that that's not true. And there's a lot of other issues I've been asking about as well.
What I'm going to show you tonight, I always say this, don't I? You're not going to believe it. I'm going to show you what the prosecutors in the Lynn Haven case want to do now. I'm going to show you what they said when they first indicted the former mayor of Lynn Haven, Margo Anderson, more than 2 years ago on August 19th, 2020. I'm going to show you what they said and how confident they were in their first indictment. Then I'm going to show you what they're saying now and where they're heading. They want to throw almost everything out, and they want to start from scratch. This is going to be something. And I don't think Facebook is notifying a lot of people when I go live. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with social media. Facebook doesn't like me very much. So if you would like others to know about this, I hope that you'll be the notification. Tag your friends, share this post if you think it's worth it. What you're going to see tonight, you won't see from any news media outlet because they're in on it. They're on the take. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I'm going to explain to you this complicated case against the former mayor of Lynn Haven, Margo Anderson, and the developer, James Finch, owner of Phoenix Construction. Why don't I do that now? I'll show you all of the counts that they are facing. Here it is. So this is the Lynn Haven corruption case as it stands now. There are 5 counts that involve both Anderson and Finch together. And that trial is scheduled for November 28th. Then there are 2 counts that have been severed, as the court calls it. Those are in yellow. So what is the government saying now? The prosecutors, what are they saying now? So the first trial that is scheduled for November 28th was going to include all 5 of those charges in blue. The 17th Street ditch, the half-cent sales tax, the design bid, the debris pit, and the motorhome. All of that was supposed to be tried on November 28th. But the prosecutors don't like, a week ago today, the prosecutors submitted to the court 15 requests leading up to trial. It's called a motion in limine. And what it says is this is what we think should be allowed in evidence. The defendants don't want these 2 things. We don't want these 13 things in evidence. What the prosecutors don't want is the defense to be able to call up on the stand the investigators who the defense say helped plant evidence against Mayor Margo Anderson. They don't want, they asked the judge, please don't let them call us up on the stand and put us under oath and defend our charges against them. And then 2 days later on Friday, they submitted something else altogether to the judge. I'll show you. 2 days later, on Friday, they submitted this to the judge. All right. It says that we have decided to present a third superseding indictment to a grand jury on Tuesday. The third superseding indictment will have a reduced number of charges. Currently, the government currently intends to present approximately 5 counts to the grand jury. So there'll be fewer charges. And at the very bottom of the footnote, it says a third superseding indictment is expected to make this clarification. Okay. All right. So it looks to me like what the prosecutors want to do is do away with any of the counts that would permit the defense to call up the sheriff's office, for example, and put them under oath. They don't want that. In fact, they said they didn't want that in the 15 things that they asked the judge to keep out of the evidence. All right, I'm going to show you some videos from August 19, 2020, the day that former Mayor Margo Anderson was arrested and indicted on 65 counts, something like 65 counts. It's down to like 25, and it looks like it's going down to 5. So the way I'm looking at this and reading this is, and the way that what they're saying is, we intend to have fewer charges, fewer counts, like a lot fewer. All right, so I'm going to show you some video from more than about 2 years ago, right after this.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan can make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com.
So let's remember what this looks like. So the Lynn Haven corruption case. See the yellow where it says ECS? That's erosion control specialist. This is a charge only against Margo Anderson. This charge claims that Margo Anderson had Mickey White's company. Mickey White's already pled guilty for defrauding Lynn Haven about $5 million. I don't want to get too much into it, but what the government says is that she had ECS clean the hurricane debris off of her yard for free. And they say it was about $48,000 of work. Now it doesn't look like, I don't know if that's going to be in it or not, but that's what this claim is mostly about, is the cleanup at her yard. And here's what the prosecutors said about that when they first arrested her. Were you able to hear that? Because I was not able to hear that in my ears. No audio on the video. Great. All right. I may have to redo the videos that I want to show you tonight. Let me see if, why would that be? Let's try what they said about, let's see if this one worked, if this audio worked.
Other portion that the indictment indicates is
Okay, that audio works, so I don't know why this one's not working. All right, so I'm going to have to skip the ECS cleanup, but essentially what the prosecutor said there was that she directed ECS to clean the debris off of her yard, and it was valued at about $48,000. Now, the reason this is a big deal is because recent filings, the defense claims, and I think the prosecutors are saying, yeah, this happened. So it's so complicated. Like 5 months after the service was supposedly done at the mayor's home, a lot of what I'm telling you, I saw explained in the evidentiary hearing in March and through these filings. And essentially, they're saying that backdated invoices were planted in the office of ECS the day before the search warrant on ECS was issued. The defense claims that the sheriff's office tipped off Derwin White, whose nephew, Mickey White, owned ECS, and told them to plant invoices, backdated invoices, showing that Mayor Margo Anderson had work done. Okay. So if you're the defendant, and everybody now knows, and the government acknowledges this, the government now just says, the prosecutors, that yeah, that happened, but James Finch told Derwin to set up Mayor Margo Anderson, which doesn't make a lot of sense because that setup eventually led to James Finch himself being indicted. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would they say that? Well, for one thing, Derwin White died last year, so they can't call him on the stand. All right, so the ECS claim, that's what the ECS claim is all about. Remember what it looks like here. That's the one on the yellow on the bottom. That's the ones in yellow are only counts against Margo Anderson. The ones in blue are counts against the two of them as a pair. Okay. But now the government's saying they want to do away with most of these and only bring 5 counts. I don't know if that, I really don't know what that's going to mean. But I do know that for some reason, they want to start from scratch. We should know more about this soon because the trial date's coming quick. And according to what was filed by the prosecutors on Friday, they are presenting to yet another grand jury right there, 5 counts to a whole new grand jury, which means, here's what it means. Let's look at it again. All right. The government has decided to present a third superseding indictment to a grand jury on Tuesday. So that means that everything that they're talking about now is gone. A superseding indictment replaces everything. And it says it'll have a reduced number of charges. So once the new superseding indictment is issued by the grand jury, which I expect it will be, I expect the grand jury will issue it. See, it says currently intends to present approximately 5 counts, a reduced number of counts. So I do expect they'll do it. I wonder this though. I wonder if the judge will also unseal what the prosecutors or the investigators tell the grand jury this time. Less than 1% of the time defendants ever see what's told to a grand jury. That's a big problem, by the way. Think about that. Now we know there were a lot of false statements made to the grand jury in order to obtain the first indictment. If less than 1% of defendants ever see what's told to a grand jury, how in the hell do defendants ever get to defend themselves? That's a big problem in the system. The system is stacked. And I don't know for the life of me why investigators and prosecutors, why would they care if the defense sees what was told to the grand jury to get the indictment? One thing I'm seeing here for sure is that the investigators and the prosecutors are not willing to stand by what they tell the grand jury, and they definitely, under no circumstance, want to be called to the stand and put under oath. Why not? Why not? I've got my theories, but I'm telling you, from what I've seen, they do not want to, and they say it themselves a week ago in the filing, the 15 things they're asking the judge. Now they're telling the judge, forget that. We're going to throw all that out. So you don't even need to rule on it. It's moot. Instead, we're going to go after another bite at the apple. This would, by the way, be the fourth bite superseding indictment against Margo Anderson. All right, so let's take a look at some more. Hopefully there's audio on these. Let's take a look at another one, the motorhome claim. Let's take a look at what they said August 19th, 2020.
It also indicates that things of value were given to Ms. Anderson, including a motorhome valued at $106,000 that was provided by the owner company B, who bought it from a third person, or paid for it, not bought it, purchased it from a third person, and it was titled in the name of Ms. Anderson's husband at no cost.
So on the first indictment, listen closely to the beginning. They said that James Finch gave, that's what they told the grand jury to get the indictment in the first place, that James Finch, the developer, gave Margo Anderson, the mayor, a motorhome.
It also indicates that things of value were given to Ms. Anderson, including a motorhome valued at $106,000 that was.
Wow. Well, the second superseding indictment said, okay, well, he didn't give it to her. Okay. There was money exchanged, but we don't think that they paid for the whole thing. Now they want a third superseding indictment. There's also questions about how it went from Forehand, the city engineer, originally owning this motorhome, to Finch, to the Andersons. How did that? There's questions about that that'll be decided, and there's a title. So that's all going to happen at trial. But what they told the grand jury is that it was given to her. That's not what they're saying now. Don't you think that's a big deal? That's a very big deal. What about the debris disposal? So after the hurricane, there was all the debris that you remember. And the cities there were two big national hauling companies. One was called Crowder Gulf. One was called Ashbrit. Crowder Gulf was approached by Derwin White. Derwin wanted to get in on the deal with them. Crowder Gulf said no. Ashbrit said, sure, Derwin, if you can help us out. And now, according to filing, I can't even remember which ones, there have been so many. They had a deal where Derwin was getting in on it. So Ashbrit and Derwin White had a deal going that is clearly illegal. A lot of money. And then they were the hauling companies. They were the cleanup companies. Then you had debris being cleaned up, and they had to bury it somewhere. Debris disposal. That's this part. That is, you see it on the left, the debris pit. So Phoenix Construction, James Finch, had a debris pit close to Lynn Haven, over the bridge, heading towards Southport, a close by debris pit where they could bury it. Now, 15 miles or so past that, there was another debris pit that they were using. I don't know all the details, but they were going hell of a lot farther. I've shown you Derwin and former city attorney Adam Albritton scheming with the guy at Ashbridge to set the price at $4.70 when another person, Alan Bird, offered $3.50. And attorney Adam Albritton said that they never heard back from Alan Bird. Well, Alan Bird is now suing them because, yes, they damn sure did. That was all a lie. There's also questions about Lynn Haven having its own pit, trying to get a permit for their own pit that would have been less expensive, they say. They make a lot of claims here, what you're going to see. They make a lot of claims that Mayor Anderson steered the debris disposal to James Finch rather than doing it for free, basically, at the city of Lynn Haven. So let's take a look at this claim.
Other portion that the indictment indicates is following a meeting of the mayor, Mayor Anderson, with the executive owner of Company B and also Company A and the city manager and a few other individuals, it was decided that Company B would get more business. And in this particular case, vegetative debris, the hauling companies, the main hauling companies referred to as companies C and D in the indictment, were directed by Lynn Haven to dispose of the vegetative debris at Company B lot in a pit that they had there. This also, one was started on about November 1st, the other was approximately November 11th. This cost Lynn Haven approximately $2 million in fees that had to pay to Company B. And the indictment notes, importantly, that prior to this occurring, the city manager had attempted to permit a site owned by Lynn Haven, which would have cost nothing for the citizens to have the haulers dump this vegetative debris at that location. The indictment.
Now it appears to me that the prosecutors just want that to go away. They don't want to pursue that charge. It doesn't look like. Wow. So Finch's pit was about 30 miles round trip closer than the pit in Steelfield that I believe Ashbridge and Derwin White were working deals out on. And I've told you that a lot of people, powerful people in this town, county commissioners and others, extended the length of time it took to clean up and bury the vegetative debris at inflated prices, I believe, for kickbacks. This does not appear to be one of them. We'll see. Why would the government, why would the prosecutors drop this? They were pretty confident then. Is this going to be one of the counts they continue with? I hope so. Because I want to see people on the stand answering questions. I want to see the evidence that they showed, some of it, at the evidentiary hearing back in March that was eye-popping, that contradicted what I'm seeing here. All right, more for you. More videos from back then and more about how the prosecutors want to drop everything basically and start from scratch. I am learning so much about federal cases and how they work and how the grand jury works and superseding indictments and how many times they can do that and all kinds of stuff. But what I'm seeing is that the prosecution here, they're not standing by what they've said. They keep wanting more bites at the apple. And that is very disturbing because we have seen what the FBI told a judge in order to get a search warrant on GAC contractors a year ago. The FBI told a judge that they heard from Crowder Gulf, I believe, the big debris hauler that did not go in with Derwin White, that Bay County is more corrupt than New Orleans and New Jersey. And there were other people that the FBI was telling the judge were involved in this scheme. And those people have never been indicted. It's almost as though they have protection. Only these two, Mayor Margo Anderson and James Finch, and the prosecutor's case is crumbling. Meanwhile, others that the FBI told a judge about, they're whistling Dixie. Why? I don't know why. But it is it's quite something. All right, let's look at some more of what was initially told in this press conference about the 65 counts about against Mayor Anderson that are crumbling. This is the most interesting one of all. The one I'm going to play for you right now, you are not going to believe. They say that there's another Lynn Haven commissioner who got free adjuster insurance service. That's what they said, but they've never indicted anybody else. I'm going to show you. I'll show you that right after this.
Have you received a speeding ticket for which you want no points placed onto your driving record? I'm El Saline, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. All right, so let's go back to our mind map here. Let's find World Claim. There it is. It's in yellow. World Claim. Remember, in yellow are counts against only Margo Anderson. Counts in blue are against Margo Anderson and James Finch as a pair. So World Claim is just a charge against Margo Anderson. Let's hear what they had to say about this adjuster that came in after the hurricane that the city of Lynn Haven hired. What they're going to say is that Margo Anderson recommended World Claim adjuster insurance, and that in exchange, the city attorney, another city commissioner, listen close, another city commissioner, still not indicted, and the mayor received special treatment. According to this, the other city commissioner got free adjuster services. City attorney Adam Albritton, who's already pled guilty, they say got free. They say that Mayor Anderson got a reduced fee. But listen close when they say another city commissioner still not indicted. Why not?
The indictment also indicates that there was a adjuster that was hired by Lynn Haven at the request of Ms. Anderson on or about October 24th, and without any bids being done, and even though the emergency ended about 6 days later, there was a rush to get this contract signed, which would provide a 10% recovery of the damages to this company that Lynn Haven would have to pay. Well, as part of that agreement, the city manager, the mayor, and another city commissioner were able to use this same company to adjust and submit for insurance claims that they had And two of the three public officials, the city manager and the city commissioner, paid no fee with respect to it. The indictment alleges that Ms. Anderson actually paid a reduced fee with respect to that.
All right, I said City Attorney Adam Albritton. I was wrong. It was City Manager Michael White who got free adjuster services, and another city commissioner, who knows who it is. Any guesses? But he has not been indicted yet. Why not? They say that the mayor got reduced fees. Is this going to be one of the counts that they throw out or that they pursue? So the question really is, why are the prosecutors basically wanting to start from scratch? I still believe, just based on what I've been seeing, on information and belief, that this is what I believe, and this is just conjecture, okay? This is just speculation. I don't think any charges are going to be brought against James Fincher and Margot Anderson that would allow the defense to call on the stand the sheriff's office or the FBI agent and ask them questions about this investigation. I don't think that they want to go on the stand and defend their charges. And I think they will continue to bungle this case until it is either thrown out or they drop it. Or they have a handful of counts where they don't have to go on the stand under oath. They don't want to. And I wouldn't want to either if I were them. The judge has already rebuked them as being unprofessional, haphazard, and reckless. Meanwhile, people that the FBI told a judge were really involved in the big stuff, they're not scared at all. Why? I don't know why. All right, so now you know the latest news, and it's developing quickly. There were filings this morning I haven't even had a chance to read yet. But I will. I'll stay as caught up as I can. But here's the big thing. I want those who were responsible for delaying the hurricane cleanup and inflating the prices to line their own pockets to be indicted and tried. And I want anybody who was involved in reckless investigations and prosecutions to be called up on the stand and held accountable. In other words, I want honest government. I want accountability. What happened to our community after Hurricane Michael was criminal on a massive scale. And we may find out more about it through the lawsuit from Alan Bird, who was screwed over, who tried to clean up the community at a closer pit at lower prices, but was blocked by the county commission, by city attorney, Lynn Haven city attorney Adam Albritton, by Derwin White. And according to the FBI, to some others that they named as well, why would they tell a judge that? And then just ignore it. As 5 years gets closer. See, 5 years is the statute of limitations. If they can just wait 5 years without indicting people that they claim committed serious crimes, then they get away. Statute of limitations. Is there a relationship between these people and the investigators or the prosecutors? Are they being lazy? Are there real reasons they can't go after them now? I mean, hell, we had COVID. That slowed us down. We had a new election. That was really, that really slowed us down. But did it slow us down that much? And if the real culprits are ever indicted. I pray that the prosecution is clean, that it only takes one indictment, not 4 bites at the apple. I mean, what the hell? So as this continues on, careening toward November 28th, the trial, how many counts will there be? Will we ever really go to trial? The answer to that is probably yes, as long as the sheriff's office does not have to take the stand and the FBI agent does not have to take the stand. They don't want that. Why not? Stand by it. Stand by what you guys have done to clean up this town. That's all. It's not too much to ask. Is that too much to ask? All right. So I'll continue this for you. But in the meantime, I hope that you will support my efforts if you appreciate them by becoming a patron. As little as $5 a month, the best money you can spend on the internet. You got to admit, it's the best money you can spend on the internet to get somebody trying to bring you the truth, wherever that lands us, at patreon.com/Bernie Thompson, patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. It is anonymous, so you can support my efforts anonymously. It's easy, and you can quit at any time. Also, I want to thank the Unknown Patriot for your support of my efforts. And with that, I will sign off, and I will see you back here soon.